Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. If it's your first time joining, thank you. If you're a previous subscriber or you are coming from a previous video on my channel, welcome back. In today's video, I want to talk to you about a little hooping hack I came up with. If you're familiar with peel and stick stabilizer or the tacky stabilizer, I'm not quite sure what the actual name for it is, but on some projects that if you're going to float your embroidery, you'll use a peel and stick stabilizer. And I figured since I'm floating my greeting cards that I would use the peel and stick stabilizer. And when I went to go look for that stabilizer, I couldn't find it at Joann's. I found some at Hobby Lobby, but it was only 8 inches wide by a couple yards. And that just wasn't going to work for me. On this particular hoop, you can see that the interior part is basically 7 inches across. So 8 inches could have worked, but I wanted something that was going to cover the hoop just a little bit more, and I couldn't think of anything. And I was sitting there thinking, well, what can I use in place of that? And here's Luna the crafty kitty, and she's coming up to say hello. Let's clear your area so you can get up on your basket. Good girl. Okay, so I figured, well, why not try the peel and stick shelf liner? It's sticky, it works, and when we had purchased our house, I had lined our pots and pans cupboard with the peel and stick, and I knew that it was pretty sticky, and I figured, well, I'm going to try it and see if this hack works, and surprisingly, it worked really well. So I purchased a couple rolls, and I didn't spend a lot of money on it. This roll is 18 inches by 9 feet. And I figured, since I have such large hoops, this hoop is 240 by 150. So it's 7 inches by, let's see, dang it. So 7 by, it's basically 7 by 11, but you know that that's not your embroidery field. You know that there's going to be some edges on it. So there's that one. And this is the one I use for my greeting cards because I can turn a 5 by 7 card up and down, and it works really well. Then I have the 120 by 120, and this is basically your 4 by 4 hoop. So you can see the 4 by 4 in the middle, and then you'll have that excess on the outside of it. I cannot do embroidered greeting cards in this hoop. Most embroidered cards come in 4 by 6 and 5 by 7, and this one is just too small for that. So there was that one. And then when I purchased my machine, it came with the extra large embroidery unit, and I got the 360 by 200 hoop, and there is another one, I think it's 360 by 350, and that is the Dream something hoop, and it's really large and be great for large quilt blocks. And I purchased the 260 by 200 off of, I believe I got it off of eBay or Amazon, one of the two. And it's actually a elite hoop. It's a creative elite hoop. So it is 10 inches by 7.9 inches, really good for my quilt blocks. So there's that one, and my address on there. So, and I did purchase this from actually eBay. So there's that one. And I think it was under 50 bucks. So there's that. What's wrong, Luna? Luna sees a rabbit or something out in the front yard, so she's making some noises. So I figured with these I could still use the 18 by 9 foot, but with my hoop that I do use, I will show you. On the inside of the peel and stick shelf liner, it's got a grid. My notification just went off on my phone, sorry about that. So it's got a grid, and with the small hoop, when you put it this way, you'll have a lot of wasted peel and stick liner. So I tried doing it this way, and I am able to get 2 pieces. If I turn it this way, I just cut it across and I can get 2 pieces. So that works out for me, and I'm going to show you how I do that. I am going to cut it at 14 and just make a little mark there. And let's leave this here so it kind of doesn't roll right back up on me. And you can cut it with your rotary cutter if you want, but I just find a pair of scissors works just as well for me. And I just like so. And then I cut that piece in half. Let me put this away. Oops. Twist it up just a little bit more. And put that right back in there. And like I said, that this is 18 inches by 9 feet. I also did buy a 20 inch by 15 feet. And for the larger hoops, I could use it as well. And let me move these aside and show you. So then what I did is I turn it this way then and do my measurement, and I line the edge of the hoop up right with the edge of the paper, and that's about right there. So I just kind of made some marks, and like so. And I just kind of drew a line so it was easier for me to cut that. Okay, so I just cut on that line. Okay, so I put the other, whoops, my pencil flipped, and I'm going to just roll the other piece up and set it aside for my next time. And then what I did, this may be completely a wasted step, but what I did is, depending on what I'm going to be making, I don't want to cut the interior portion of the backing paper away yet. So I can make sure that I'm lined up relatively well. And my pencil that flipped out of the way, what I'll do is I'll trace a mark around that. Make sure it's all the way around. And then what I want to do is I'm going to try to get that so it stays a little flat. And this you might have to wrestle with just a little bit. But I separated that part. Well, and it's not really easy to separate, so you can, I have a difficult time with it. And I should have had a piece kind of started and ready already, but Okay, so I got that little edge, and then I just kind of grab my tweezers so I can kind of pull it apart a little bit better. Okay, so you're going to cut off this excess edge, and that's what we're going to be sticking to the frame. So that's where the line that I drew. So, my blue scissors. I'm going to just kind of fold this a little. Nah, I'm not going to fold it. Okay, so make sure you don't cut the liner itself. We're just going to cut the paper. And it is very sticky. So we got that part off first. And I'm going to turn it sideways. And I'm going to peel the edge back as well. And I have made the mistake and wasted some before I figured this out. Make sure you peel it all the way down like I'm doing here, because I did cut into the sticky stuff. And I'm just going to cut it. Come on. And you may have to wrestle with it a little bit. Okay, I'm going to leave that piece there. And try not to do that where it sticks back down to itself. And so all the way around you're going to do this. And it doesn't have to be directly on that line. It's okay. And you're going to have to wrestle with it a little bit. I had it stick to itself and had to throw a whole piece away. I cut a piece and had to throw that away. And just kind of do what works for you. Okay, so then make sure that your rest of your paper is all kind of stuck down, and you're going to take your frame and you're going to try to get that to stay. This is, I don't know if the no stick stabilizer is the same way, but then just stick it down to your frame, flip it over, and kind of you can try to line it up. I'm going to try to do that. To kind of smooth your wrinkles out of there. We don't want it to be wrinkled. And I've seen people take like an X-Acto knife, and when they're using the actual peel and stick stabilizer, and I don't know how they do it, because I'd be too worried about cutting the inside. And I just kind of make sure, and I just work it on here and make sure it's flat. It's not working. Cooperate with me. And that's where kind of laying it flat really does help. Make sure you have a flat surface, and I'm making this harder than what it needs to be. There we go. I think we got it that time. Okay. So there we go. And it's relatively flat. That's not going to hurt anything right there, I don't think. Okay. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh my gosh. It wasn't this difficult the first time I did it. I'm under pressure. Okay, there we go. Okay. So I got it all on there, and if you have any little edges like these, I just kind of folded them up and made sure they stuck to the edges of the frame. And like so. That's all I did. And then you're going to take it to your machine, and whatever you're going to be stitching, so like if I'm going to be stitching my card, I'm going to do my placement stitch on this. So I don't have my embroidery unit hooked up, but what you're going to do is you are going to, let's see if I have in a smaller frame. No, I don't. You're going to do your placement stitch, and then you're going to cut at least 1/8 to 1/4 outside that stitch line, and then you'll peel that section, you'll cut that section out. And I will show you that when I do the next video, when I actually go to embroider. But this is a good way for you to save on your peel and stick. And once you do peel and stick it, if the edges lose their tackiness, you can go ahead and put the piece down and then just tape it to it, your stabilizer, whatever you're going to be using. And then you can tape your card right to that piece of stabilizer. So that's a really good hack to save on your stabilizer. It works for me. I try to save as much money as I can when I am sewing. So there's that little hack. Excuse me. Today I also purchased this new smaller cutting mat for when I have my embroidery unit on the table. It comes right like to the edge of this mat. My embroidery unit, when it's on the machine, is almost 36 inches long. So I needed a small cutting mat for trimming squares up and things like that when I am sewing. And this one is an 18-inch by 12-inch. I got this at Walmart for, I think it was $10.47. And it's got the both sides on it. And I bought my large Fiskars mat that's 18 inches by, I think, 24 inches. I bought, or some, yeah, 28 inch. I can't remember the exact measurement, but I bought that at Joann's, and I still used a 40% off coupon, and it was still around $30. So Walmart is definitely cheaper. They have the next size up from this one that I saw that was $17. So you can kind of look around and see. And I'm going to put my silicone mat under it so it doesn't move around so much. When I have this mat off the table, it'll kind of grip. Then if you haven't seen, I bought some additional threads, and I haven't used these yet, and I'm not sure if I really like them. They are supposed to be a polyester. They're a little bit thicker, and I'm going to try them for doing the embroidery because my FAF machine is really picky about thread. If you seen the previous video, I was having productivity issues. I could not get cards to stitch correctly. Thread wasn't staying in the cards, and I don't know if I was using a 7511 embroidery needle, and with my really thin embroidery threads, it just was not staying in the cardstock or the watercolor paper. So I thought a thicker thread would help. So we're going to try this and see what happens. Oh, this was a 30 spool pack, and I got it because it's got a lot of the brighter colors in it for florals and things like that. And these were the other two, a gray and a black. And like I said, I got it for the floral colors and everything. So there's that. And then I had tried filming the video previously and I had to pause because but Amazon pulled up, and I have a delivery that I received today. And if you've seen the previous video about my productivity problems, I was having the issues with the thread. My stabilizer, my tearaway stabilizer was ripping, so I don't know if my stabilizer was the problem. I don't know if the thread was the problem. The needle, I just could not get the right combination of the needle, the thread, and the stabilizer. And I've used this stabilizer before, and oh, I'm sorry, I was using this stabilizer, and this is the one from Walmart, and I figured, well, I'm going to buy stabilizer from Amazon. This is 10 inches by 100 yards, and I'm not exactly sure of the price that I paid for this, but I will leave it down below in the description box. So if you want to get that, I'll have the link there for that. So there's those, and I'll list the prices for the thread and the cutting mat also. So with my productivity, I didn't know if it was my stabilizer causing the problem. So what I did is I went back to Amazon, and I purchased some cutaway stabilizer. So that's what this is. We're going to go ahead and open this up. And I covered my address there. And Luna's going to be really happy with this. She's got another box. Okay. And so there is my bubbles. And I'll throw that aside. So what I did is I bought a cutaway stabilizer. And then I also bought, these are going to be too big. I bought rivets or eyelets for my keychains. And you can see that those are really big. And they were $9.99. They are okay, but I basically bought this for the pliers. I needed a bigger set of pliers because I already have some rivets, but the pliers were too small. But let's go ahead and check out the stabilizer. I'm sorry if this video is all over the place. I apologize for that. Okay, so this looks, so far it feels like really nice stabilizer. I hate when they put tape on stuff. I really do, because now it's going to, see how it's pulling up the stabilizer? God, that makes me mad. Okay, well, I may have to double up on those or just kind of waste it. But this is more, it almost feels like a, you know, the material that they make shoe bags out of for your more expensive shoes, that they'll put a shoe bag in it? That's kind of what this almost feels like. It's almost that fabric feeling. So, God, this makes me mad. I hate when they put tape on that. So, okay, so we're going to try this. I'm going to set up my machine, and we're going to try to stitch out a card. And I will show you how to trim away the portion here that we did. And stay tuned for that next video, and we will see you all soon. Bye-bye.